Good morning, students. Am I audible?
Morning, sir.
Yeah,
Okay,
only
sir.
one student is only present. Still others have to come, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we'll wait for some 2 more minutes so
Okay, sir.
that
Okay.
others also will join.
Okay, sir.
Uh, Prasad, have you downloaded my notes and data handbook?
Yes, sir. Downloaded.
Okay. Prasad, are you able to see the screen?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Let us start.
Starts. Okay, sir.
Okay, with some studies discussion, I'll start. We'll end up in 5 minutes so that we'll see the others also will join for the today's class. Whatever yesterday I discussed, same I'll just brief in 5 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Till others also will join so that it will be easy. Otherwise, if they are coming in between the problem, again they will not understand the problem. Yes, Shiv Shankar, where are other students?
Sir, don't know, sir.
See, if they are not attending class, then it is very difficult for them to understand the things. Hmm. And if they are coming in between also, it is a bit difficult to understand in between the problem if they are coming. Okay, I'll have just refreshment for 5 minutes so that we'll see that others also will join.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So coming to Spurg terminology, yesterday I had discussed with respect to circular pitch. Now we'll be going for only the formulae related things, not the theory part. So yesterday I had told you circular pitch is equal to pi, P is equal to pi into D divided by Z. So this formula you will be getting ready-made. As per the student's request, what I have done is I have added the page number also. And even for your reference, I have sent you the data handbook. If you are not having data handbook, whatever data handbook pages I will be referring for the next class, same I will be putting it in the WhatsApp so that you can refer only that particular pages and you can get to know the things. So here equation number 12.1a if you are going, that is page number 203. So page number 203, 12.1a. So here directly it is given P is equal to pi into D divided by Z. Okay, so these all formulas you will be having it in the data handbook. So you need not have to by heart the things. Only you need to know where the particular formula is there and which formula I have to use at what time. Okay. Coming for this, the pitch circle diameter is equal to D divided by Z, which I can modify it for pinion and as well as gear. Okay, that is D1 divided by Z1 is equal to D2 divided by Z2. This at least relation you need to know. So this is not available in the data handbook. So coming to diametrical pitch, PD is given by Z divided by D. So this P, that is pitch circle diameter, is given by pi into D divided by Z, that is available in 12.1b and 12.1c, that is page number 203. So page number, if you see, it is having with respect to spur gears all the circular pitch, the diametrical pitch, the relation between the circular pitch and diameter, all the main formulas are here. Even the center distance of the gears also is available here. So even for the module, if I want to go for the calculation of the module, so module is given by D divided by Z. Even this formula is there in the 12.1D for page number 203. So you can go for 12.1D to calculate the module if you know the diameter and the number of gears on the gear or the pinion. So coming for the numerical, so here first I had taken in the last class a simple numerical, a pair of mating spur gears having 20-degree full depth of module 5 mm. The pitch diameter is given with respect to the smaller gear. So smaller gear we are calling it as pinion. Its diameter is 100 mm. If the transmission ratio is 4:1, that is the velocity ratio, then you need to calculate this. He has given a list of things which you need to calculate, that is number of teeth for each gear, that is Z1 and Z2. So we are noting in that form. Plus addendum he wants, dedendum, hole depth, clearance. So this all we'll see while solving the problem. So what is given? Alpha is given, that is 20 degree for the gears. M is given, module 5 mm. D1 is given, that is D with respect to the smaller gear is pinion, that is 100 mm is given. I is given, that is the velocity ratio between the two gears, that is pinion and gear. So you already know that I is equal to N1 divided by N2 is equal to Z2 divided by Z1 equal to D2 upon D2. So this is standard formula which you need to remember. These are speeds, number of teeths and the diameters. So out of this three relation, whichever relation we want, we can take it separately and we can calculate as we know the velocity ratio I. So I know the velocity ratio I and I know the D1, that is diameter with respect to the pinion. Then I can calculate by using D2 divided by D1 is equal to I, that is 4. I can calculate the D2. That is the diameter with respect to the gear. So now I know D1 and D2. So D1 is 100, which is given in the question. D2 is just now I have calculated with respect to the velocity ratio I. So after calculating, if I want to know that addendum, dedendum and all, module is the main factor which I need to calculate. So since I know the number of teeth on pinion and gear and the diameter, what I can do is I can calculate the module. Okay, but
Sir,
module is yeah.
sir, but the module is given, sir, already.
Yeah, that only is my next sentence. That only is my next sentence. Just wait. So module is given in the question, but here we are missing with the Z1 and Z2. So this relation with respect to Z1, D1 and M, so any two dimensions or any two notations, if it is given, then we can calculate the third one. So since module is given, our half of the work is done here, if the module is given. And we need to calculate Z1 and Z2, which is the number of teeth on the pinion and gear. So now we need to modify this to calculate Z, as we know the module and diameter. So Z1 for pinion, we are modifying it. Z1 is equal to D1 divided by module is equal to 100 divided by 5, which is nothing but 20. So that is the distribution of the gears on the pinion is 20. Same with respect to Z2, we need to calculate, as you know the diameter D2. So it is 400 divided by 5. Module will be same for both the gears. It is 80. So now we know Z1 and Z2 for this. What is asked in the question? We'll come to the question. He wants addendum, dedendum, hole depth, clearance, outside diameter and all. So now if we go to the data handbook, just a minute. Yeah, if we go for this, okay, so if we go for this in the data handbook, the table 12.3, it is telling that standard tooth proportions of involutes per gears is there. Okay, so in this particular thing, if I know the module, then I can calculate all this addendum, dedendum, tooth thickness, tooth space and all. So whenever I know module, so I can use these proportions and I can calculate the whatever he is asking in the question. So firstly, I will be going for what? Addendum, which is 1 into module, that is 5. So you can get all the relations with respect to the module. Now dedendum is 1.25 into m. So 1.25 into m is equal to 1.25 into 5. If you are calculating the things, if you want some more time, so I'll be going.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, that addendum, how you wrote that 1 into m, sir?
You can see here in the data handbook it is given m means 1 into m, that's all. In the data handbook, page number 229, table 12.3 you have to refer for standard tooth proportions of involutes per gear. In that,
Okay,
he has given with respect to module, with respect to diametrical pitch. If you know diametrical pitch, with respect to that you can calculate here. That
Okay,
is
sir.
calculation of addendum, dedendum, tooth thickness, all you can calculate. Since I know module, so this addendum depends upon module, dedendum depends upon module. So all the relations he has given here. Are you
Okay,
getting
sir,
my
got it,
point?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, m means 1 into m. That is same as module only. Okay. So dedendum 1.25 into m. So all this table 12.3, I can get all these proportions. So this is the actual gear design where I am specifying all the specifications of the gear in the form of addendum, dedendum, tooth thickness, tooth space, working depth, hole depth, whatever we are told in the nomenclature. So all these relations you need not have to by heart. Only you need to know where in the data handbook it is available. Okay, all the relations you can see. Some of the relations if you want you can calculate, it is very simple. So outside diameter you can calculate. It is given by Z plus 2 into M. So we'll see here. Outside diameter D naught you are seeing. Outside diameter D naught, it is given by Z plus 2 into M. So same you need to calculate. So outside diameter you need to calculate it for pinion as well as gear. So whenever I am using it for pinion, that is D01 I will be writing. Z1 I will be using the number of teeth on the pinion plus 2 into module will be same for both the gears. So 20 is the number of gears on the pinion plus 2 into 5. So 20 plus 2 is 22. 22 into 5 is 110. So even I am in calculator, I am calculating some of the calculations. I will be just calculating. So even if you want, you can calculate some of the things. If any mistake is there, please you can tell. I calculated it and I have fixed it. But if you calculate, then only you can have a practice session. If you are just seeing, again you may forget. Shivshankar, are you calculating?
Yes, sir.
Any variation in the results?
No, sir.
Okay. Some of them you calculate. Later on, you can calculate for the others. Because again, time will be very less. Since I am sharing all this, you can calculate and you can contact me anytime if any variation is there in the results. So shall we proceed with the next?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, if you want some more time, you can always tell me. So tooth thickness is also given. So we'll see here where is the tooth thickness. See, tooth thickness. If you are calculating all of this, irrespective of whatever is given in the question, if you are providing the extra answer also, there is no problem. Okay. So tooth thickness T you can calculate with respect to 1.5708 module. 1.5708 module, you will be getting the tooth thickness in the form of mm. So in the same way, working depth. Now coming to circular pitch, as per the question, circular pitch is required. So this you can get in 12.1a, that is page number 203, which is the first page in the data handbook, that is whatever I have shared. So 12.1a, the circular pitch is equal to pi d divided by z. So as per the question, I will be going to calculate the circular pitch. Since I have got the module, since I have got the Z1 and Z2, then I can calculate very easily all of this. So circular pitch is equal to pi into d divided by z. It can be given with respect to pi into m also. Pi into module is circular pitch. You can see here pi into m he has given at the last. Circular pitch is given by pi d divided by z, also equal to pi divided by diametrical pitch, also equal to pi into m. So you can refer any of this formula to calculate the circular pitch. As I know module, so pi into m will be the easiest way for me. So I will be using pi into m. So which pi into phi, I will be getting this answer.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
So we can also use pi d by z.
Yeah, you can use, no problem.
Sir, in
But-
that case, in the case of d, we have to put a d1 value or d2 value, sir. Then
No, this is circular pitch is for general. If you want to calculate it for pinion, you can use D1 divided by Z1. For if you are calculating for separately, if D and Z is there, you can make it as D1 and Z1. Okay, since I know
Okay,
module, if I am having module, better you go for module and keep the circular pitch. If you don't have module, that time I have to go for the reference as pi d divided by z, where I have to calculate separately for pinion as well as gear and go for the calculation of module. So since I am having module, better go for this formula and you keep it. In the further coming problems, what we'll do, we need to calculate the module. So that time we'll be going for this reference, that is pi into d1 divided by z1. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
And in the further problems, if we don't know the module, then this all headache will start. That is, with respect to that circular pitch will not be coming directly. That time we have to go for tangential load, radial load. That calculation is totally different. That stepwise we need to go still. Since this is simple problem, module is directly given. But normally he will not give module for the next coming problems. So we have to calculate the module, we have to select the standard module, then we have to come for the load distribution. Okay, so meanwhile now you use pi into m, as we know m. How we are calculating for addendum, dedendum, hole depth? In such case, because we know the module, we are calculating directly here. So wherever this tooth thickness, working depth, wherever it is a part of module, better go for the part of module, that is pi into m, 2 into m, 1.5708 into m, so that you will get directly the circular pitch. Now coming to the center distance. So center distance, this equation is in 12.3a. You can see here 12.3a, it is given a is equal to d1 plus d2 divided by 2 or z1 plus z2 divided by 2 into module. So in this case you can go for anything, that is both formulas, but since I don't know the diameters, what I'll be going is z1 and z2 divided by 2 into module. So a part of module where I know the module, so I'll be going for this. Alpha is, that is a is given by 20 plus 80 divided by 2, that is center distance, that is between the two gears is 250. I'll be calculating. Again I am not going for d1 and d2. If I am going for d1 and d2, again I have to go for d1 and d2 calculations.
Sir, we know D1 and D2, sir.
That also you can use, then no problem is there. So this problem, what we are doing is we are going as per the module. Okay, so I am using all the multiples of module. So better I am not changing the track here. You may have multiple options here in between, but I am going for the multiples of the module, so that it will be easy track for you. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So I'll be not going in the zigzag way. I'm going in the straight direction. If I know module, then I'll be going for all the multiples of the module, so that it will be easy for me. Okay. Then base circle diameter dB. dB is given by d cos alpha, which I can get in 12.2a. So 12.2a you can see here, the base circle diameter is given with respect to this. So this formula I need to apply. So this base circle diameter is given by d into cos alpha. So for this I will be calculating it separately, d1 cos alpha. So for base circle diameter of the pinion, I will be getting it as 93.96. Just calculate and see whether it is correct or no. 93.96 base circle diameter for the pinion and base circle diameter for the gear.
Same answer, sir.
Okay. Now as per the question, we'll be seeing root or dedendum circle diameters. So for this root or dedendum circle diameters, I need to refer the page number 203, 12.2b. So the dedendum circle or root diameter is given, dr is equal to d minus 2 tf plus tc, or dr is given also given from the figure. So this point I will be making it clear in the next class, because from figure he is telling, again from figure we have to go there. Okay, this part you leave it off. In the next class I will get the figure and I will attach here, so that it will be easy for you, because he is taking some constants and all. K, how to select the K. Okay, so this part you remember. Even I will make a note of this. So yesterday also I told this. Just a minute, I will make a note of this. So it is page number 9. I will be giving the figure and I will be explaining this part. Okay. Now coming for the next problem. So we'll go as per the problem. How are the problems? So first I have selected some easy problems so that you will be adequate with the data handbook. So where the addendum is there, where dedendum is there. Then slowly we'll move to the tough problems and we'll solve in numerical type of problems. Variety of problems we'll solve. When you are solving more than 3 to 4 problems, then you will start understanding, yes, how I have to refer the data handbook. So which formula I have to use, which formula is easy for me, because in between you may have multiple type of formulas. So which I have to use for particular problem. So all will be fetching the same results, but which will be easy for me in the exam, so that I need not have to waste time in calculating the things. Because for this type of subject, the time, whatever 3 hour slot is there, it will be very less. So here you need to take care of the time as well as, so that you can solve the 100 marks within the 3 hours. Because if you are solving all the things, as I told in the previous problem, if he is asking addendum, dedendum and all, so whatever he is asking, try to provide. I'll just show you the example here. So as I told here, addendum, dedendum, all this is there, all this you can calculate and keep. But in this, if he is asking addendum, dedendum, tooth thickness, working depth, if he is asking only 4 aspects, so you just calculate only 4 things and you keep it. Need not have to go for all these factors. Since you will be knowing module, then the student may think, yes, I will write all this, then sir will give me more marks. No. Whatever is there in the question, please provide only that much, because data handbook is having abundant formulas. You cannot keep calculating all the things. So whatever is asked in the question, better go for only that type of answers. So coming for the next, a spur gear pinion is having 100 mm diameter, has a torque of 200 Newton meter applied to it. Sorry, the spur gear mesh with it is 250 in diameter. So he is mentioning the pinion as well as gear. So pinion is smaller gear. If he is telling gear, then it is a bigger gear. The pressure angle he has given 20 degree. So normally we will be using 20 degree involute gear. Okay, because it is more efficient and the noise will not be there whenever we are using the 20 degree involute gear. So normally in our calculations we will be using 20 degree involute gear. If he is not giving in the numerical, then you can assume it. You can write a note assuming the pressure angle is 20 degree. If he is not giving. So such problems also we'll see in the coming sessions. So what he is telling is determine tangential force. So this numerical is different from the previous numerical, because he wants to determine tangential force, that is Ft, which is acting on the gear teeth. radial or separating force, that is radial force is also called as separating force Fr. Torque on the gear, the torque is coming on the gear, that also you need to calculate. Also show the forces acting on the wheels separately. This is the question. So seeing to the question, first you need to go for the given data. So what is given here? A spur gear pinion 100 mm diameter. So write D1 is equal to 100 with respect to pinion. Alpha is given and even torque is also given. So MT1 you write with respect to pinion he has given. So better write it as 200 Newton meters. So it is, I can write it as 200 into 10 raised to 3 Newton millimeters. Since all the dimensions are in millimeters, so better I'll calculate it in the Newton millimeters itself. So alpha is given here 20 degrees. D2, that is diameter with respect to the gear, is given as 250 millimeters. Now we need to go for the tangential formula directly. So tangential force, for the tangential force Ft is equal to 2 into mt divided by d, which is given in page number 206, 12.8a. Yes. So if you go for this page number 206, you can see this is having the equations with respect to forces acting in a spur gear. So what are the forces acting? That numericals you can get in this particular page number, that is 206. So now if you see here, he has given tangential force or peripheral force, it is also called. So Ft is equal to 2 in the form of moment he has given, that is torque divided by d. So this formula we have to catch out it. So since we know mt, so for this, since the pinion is the driver here, so we are calculating the tangential load coming on this. Okay, so we'll be using this 2 into mt divided by d1, and Ft we are calculating the tangential force coming on the pinion is 4000 newtons. Is the calculation correct? If you are calculating, you can just reply for me. 2 into 200 into 10 raised to 3 divided by 100. Yes, 2 into
Correct, sir.
4000 newtons. Yes. So now again going for the data handbook, we can see the radial force acting. So Fr is equal to Ft into tan alpha. So when we know Ft, that is tangential load, it is a part of radial force is a part of tangential load into tan alpha. Okay, in the theory class, in the studies class, we had seen that how the tangential force will be acting, how the normal force will be acting, that we are resolving into tangential force and the radial force. That part is clear for you? Please reply, that part is clear now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or you have forgotten? So radial force is given by Fr is equal to Ft. It is a part of tangential force into tan alpha. So referring to that, this 12.8b. So Fr is equal to 4000 into tan alpha. So this 1455 newtons will be getting. So this is radial force which is acting on the pinion teeth. This is tangential force which is acting on the pinion teeth. Now coming for the torque on the gear. So this you can refer 12.8a. So again you need to refer this 12.8a so that you can calculate this for the gear. The moment is given with respect to the pinion. You can see here with respect to pinion. In the question he has told a spur gear pinion 100 millimeters diameter has a torque. So the torque whatever he has given 200 Newton meters is particularly for the pinion, and he is asking torque on the gear. So already we have calculated tangential force, radial or separating force, and we need to calculate the torque on the gear. So same formula we can apply, that is Ft is equal to 2 into mt divided by z. Tangential force which will be acting will be same for the pinion as well as gear, because both will be rotating. Since the pinion is a driver, the gear is the driven, so both will be having the same tangential forces. So applying again the same formula, now equating for the moment with respect to what? The gear. So here whenever I am going for gear, I need to go for D2 and I am calculating the torque coming on the gear, that is, so I am using the 2. So now the torque with respect to the gear is 4000 into 250 divided by 2, so it is 500 into 10 raised to 3. Is it clear? So in this particular problem what I have used is how to calculate tangential force, radial force and torque. So if you can understand this, the mixture of these two problems will be the next third problem. So where if you know how to use tangential force, how to calculate radial force, how to calculate torque, how to calculate addendum, dedendum, what is module for the from the data handbook, how to refer, if you know, then we can go for actual problems, which is the third problem, where it contains the selection of the material and again going for the tangential force. So this is simple pictorial representation which is shown. Ft will be acting on the driver, that is pinion, this is gear. So same Ft will be acting in the opposite direction because it is rotating in the clockwise direction, it is anti-clockwise rotation. This Ft will be acting at this particular point here and it is trying to act over here. And this also just pictorial representation I have shown how the radial force will be acting. So always the radial force will be acting to compress this and separate the center distance of these two. Okay, so this radial force acting. Shall we go for third problem? So coming to the third problem, a forged steel pinion. See, whenever he is telling the particular material, so that material is having certain specifications. So for that we need to go in the data handbook. If he is not mentioning, then we can assume it if it is necessary. See, in the previous problem, what we had done, he is telling only spur gear pinion is there. He is not using any material here. And to calculate the tangential force, to calculate the radial force, to calculate the torque, I do not require any material. Because in the formula here, he is not asking me any material specifications. So we will see the actual design when comes is with respect to material. So how to get the points from the material, like if I am selecting particular material, what things I have to collect from there so that I can put it in the normal formulas. Okay, a forged steel pinion, he has given the identification for this SAE 1040, rotating at 400 RPM, drives a high grade cast iron steel, cast iron gear. The transmission is 4:1. This I he has given, so I have written here I. The pinion has 15 standard 20-degree full depth involute teeth. So the pinion is having 15 teeth So that is Z1 is equal to 15. I have noted it down. 20 degree is there, alpha. You make a note of this. 4 mm module he has given. So m is equal to 4. It will be same for the gear as well as pinion. The face width of both gear is 40 mm he has given. The face width is given. How much power can be transmitted from the standard point of strength? So all this material specification he has given, N1 he has given, that is RPM. With what RPM? The pinion will be moving. That he has given. Alpha he has given. Module he has given. Breadth of the teeth he has given. And what he wants is the only one thing, that how much power it can take. Are you getting this question? Now, simple yeah.
Sir, in that given data, small n1 you have written 6.67 RPS. What is that, sir?
Rounds per second. 400 divided by 60 you make, you will get this. Just see.
Yes, sir.
It is rounds per
6.66.
6666 it is continuing. So I have taken it as 67 RPS. Okay. So I am using it as small n1. We'll see whether it can be used in between somewhere. So RPM I have calculated in rounds per second. That's all. 400 divided by 60. Okay. Don't confuse with that. Any other questions here? So we'll go for, as per the previous two numericals knowledge, what we can do is we can go for the, if we know the velocity ratio I, and if I know the Z1, then I can go for Z2. So we know that. So this formula you need to remember, which is not available in the data handbook. I is equal to N1 divided by N2 is equal to D2 divided by D1 is equal to Z2 divided by Z1. So with respect to this, what I can calculate is I is equal to N1 upon N2. So which is coming N2 as 1.67 RPS. If it is confusing, so don't calculate this. You can go for in RPM only, so that you will get N2 RPM, because this ratio remains same. N1 divided by N2 remains same. Okay. So if you want, you can calculate capital N1 divided by capital N2 you can take, and you can calculate capital N2, which will be coming in the RPM. That will be the speed of the gear in the RPM. Okay. I is given. There is velocity ratio with respect to I can apply with respect to Z2 divided by Z1. Since I know Z1, I can go for Z2. So that will be the number of teeth on the gear. It is given, means you are calculating it, it is coming 60. So 15 into 4 is 60. So for some easy calculations, don't go for the calculator. Better you can calculate 15 into 4, you will be knowing 60. So if any complicated things are there, then only you go for the calculator. So now coming to this page number 203, which will be very important for us. So 12.1E to calculate the diameter, that is D1 and D2. Since I know the module and the Z1, that is the teeth on the gears. So I'll be going for page number 203, 12.1E. So you are seeing here, this is page number 203, 12.1E. The pitch diameter is given, D is equal to M into Z. So here I know the module, I know the Z. So I'll be not going for next formulas. Don't try to refer. Go for easy things. I know module, I know Z1, I know Z2. So I can calculate D1 and D2 with respect to this formula. So what I have done is, by referring D is equal to mz, D1 is equal to m into Z1, that is 4 into 15. 60 is coming, the diameter with respect to the pinion. D2 m into Z2, that is 4 into 60, 6 4s are 24, it will be 240. So 240 mm you will be getting the diameter of the gear. Okay, so these are the minimum specifications which we require for calculating the next coming steps. So for this next step we will be going for, you can see, for referring the table 12.7, we need to go for allowable static stress. So we have to go for the stress, how much is coming on the gear. So that we need to know, because he has given the materials. So we'll see that table, then you will understand. So this is page number 234. Yes, what it contains is, page number 234 tells that table 12.7. Yes, table 12.7. So it is having allowable static stresses to use in Lewis formula. As you know that Lewis equation is for the spur gears. So you need to go with respect to that Lewis formula so that you can calculate the power. So here, if we see this table, we are having material. Different variety of materials are there with respect to the gear and pinion. Cast iron grade is there, 20, cast iron grade 25 is there. With respect to this, what he has given is allowable static stress. That is, this much static stress the material can sustain. So within this maximum limits, the static stress will be there for this. You cannot exceed this number. If you exceed, again the failure will be there. So you have to take this allowable static stress, and you need to know Brinell hardness number for this particular material. So since he has given the material in this particular problem, so I need not have to choose any material for the gear and the pinion. So what he has given material is, I'll go for the material now. For pinion, he has told forged steel untreated. So I will be going for forged steel untreated here. Yes, forged steel untreated. So for this, the allowable static stress is given by 172.6. Okay, so this you need to take allowable static stress. For the forged steel 172.6, same I have taken. Yes, 172.6 meganewton is given. Yes, meganewton per meter square he has given. So I can write it as Newton per mm square. So this conversion you know, no? I think so. Newton per mm square. Meganewton per meter square can be written as Newton per millimeter square. You know this, or I need to calculate it. Megapascal 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. So if I want to convert meter square to millimeter square, then in the denominator I will be having into 10 raised to 6. So numerator 10 raised to 6, denominator 10 raised to 6 will cancel, and we can write it as Newton per millimeter square. If this you are not understood, in the next class I will have that slide also. Okay, so just collect this 172.6, that is allowable static stress. For gear, high grade cast iron is used. So I need to search high grade cast iron in this. So cast iron high grade in this. Okay, high grade means grade 35 is the high grade here. Okay, so for this I used it as 78.5. So high grade heat treated you can use 78.5. In that again cast iron grade high means 20, 25, 35 is there. So only three varieties of there. Of this high is 35. In this again high is 78.5. So this you can use it for your calculations. That is 78.5 and brittle hardness number for this is 300. So you make a note of this. Okay. So this is allowable static stress which we will be using in the Lewis formula. Okay. So just you can make a note of this and we will proceed with respect to the Lewis formula. Since from Lewis form factor we know that, so we'll go to Lewis form factor, that is 12.5D, page number 204. Page number 204. So here Lewis equation is given. So with this Lewis equation, what we can calculate is what is the tangential force coming on this particular gear. So what I need to do now is, so I need to calculate Y. So it is given in 12.5D because I require all these factors which is coming here. That is, if I am going for Lewis equation, I will be calculating the tangential force. So tangential force I require pi into this static stress CV, V, Y, M. So I will be preparing for all this and I will be equating here and I will be calculating the tangential force coming on the gear. So now coming to this equation which is 12.5D. See, 12.5D is the Lewis form factor calculation from table 12.5. So this small y we can calculate, that is 0.154 minus 0.912 divided by Z. Okay, again Z for 20 degrees is given. Okay, so separately you can calculate Y1 and Y2 by using Z1 and Z2. Please calculate this and tell me whether this question, this answer is right or no. (0.154) minus 0.912 divided by Z1. Whenever we are calculating for Y1, Z1 we are calculating. Z1 we are getting it from the, as previously we had calculated. So Y1 and Y2, this is small y1 and small y2. Are the answers correct? Please
Yes,
reply.
sir.
Okay. Now, see, I have made a small table here. If you make such tables, then it will be easy for you. So now pinion and gear, allowable static stress I have written. Y, capital Y, which is required in the Lewis equation. So Y is equal to small y into pi. Okay. So that formula is there here. I'll show you. So Y1 and Y2, capital Y1 and Y2 I have calculated by multiplying these two numbers with respect to the pi, and I have kept here. And this is I'll be getting with respect to multiplication of these two, that is static stress into Y. So I have kept this. Okay. So this factor, what it tells is which is stronger and which is weaker. So here pinion is more stronger, as we are seeing its allowable stress is more, that is 50.52. So pinion, irrespective of small, due to the material, I am getting the allowable stress more and it is more stronger. Gear, since the size is also bigger plus its material is different from the pinion. So this will be a weaker point here as compared to the pinion. So our study should always go to the weaker part. So if in the coming slides, if I am calculating for weaker part, then this will be safe. Then I have to take care of only the weaker part. So whenever I am calculating, if I am taking care of only this weaker part, then my design will be safe. So in such cases, in such problems, you need to decide first which is weaker, which is stronger. Then always keep the calculation with respect to the weaker part, either pinion or gear. So here I have written, you can see, since the stress into y, this y is a form factor. So this is less than the pinion, that is pinion is greater than the gear. So gear is weaker member here. So better I will be going for the design based on the gear. So now coming, so if you see the power requirement for this in the equation 12.4a, that is page number 204. Okay, so this is the power transmitting capacity P of the spur gears in kilowatts. So this is our requirement. So now P is equal to Ft into V divided by 1000 is the equation number. So considering this, so P power requirement, tangential force coming on the Ft will be taking with respect to the Ft is same whatever I calculated in the previous slide. No, you are not calculated it, right? We'll see. Ft will be calculating with respect to the all y, capital Y, small y, form factor and all. So we'll come up with this Ft into V divided by 1000. So V, as we know, pi dn upon 1000. So since we are calculating for the weaker point, that is gear, so we'll be going for pi dn2 divided by 1000. Now coming to the Ft, which is a Lewis equation. So this we need to calculate. So that to calculate the power. So Ft is given by pi into stress, that is static stress, we know Cv, B, Y, M. So this all factors, if we are knowing and calculating the Ft and evaluating here, then at the last the power required will be coming for the particular example, that is 4.8 kilowatts. Okay, so this formula is easy, but now selection problem is here with respect to this. So pi we know, this allowable stress we know, Cv, yeah, Cv we need to get it. So Cv we need to get it from the equation 12.6a, which is again the factor, that is 12.6a 205. Yes, the velocity factor is given for ordinary cut gears running with a pitch line velocity up to 8 meters per second. So normally we'll be going for this, the velocity factors for different things he has given. Okay, so here it is a Barth's formula for carefully cut gears with a pitch line velocity up to 30 meters per second. So we'll be going for the nominal one. We'll be not going for where somewhere he is using carefully cut, very with high precision cut, will be not going unless and until it is mentioned in the question. So we are taking the velocity factor Cv is equal to 3.05 divided by 3.05 plus V. So with respect to that, as we know V 1.257 we have got meters per second. So we will be calculating the Cv part, that is 0.708 is the velocity factor. So since we know pi, since we know the allowable stress, since we know the Cv, now we have calculated B is given breadth of the teeth is given in the question. Y we have already calculated. Where is Y? So this is Y. y1 and y2. We are designing for y2, that is k. We'll be using this 0.1388, and module also we know. So all the factors we know here very well. We can calculate Ft. So the Ft will be coming 3878.4 newtons. By using this in the power formula, Ft into V divided by 1000, we will be getting 4.8 kilowatts by using this equation. Is it clear? See, in this particular slide, I made a little bit hurry-burry because time is running. It is already 10 because you need to go for the next class also. So you calculate in the free time and let me know tomorrow if any doubts are there in this particular page number. That is page number 12. I will make a note of this. Page number 12 I have stopped. Okay. So I will be starting in next class. I will be starting from page number 12. I will be telling about this problem and I will be going for the next problem, that is example number 4. It requires minimum 1 hour for this example number 4. So have you understood this problem?
Yes, sir.
If any doubts are there, please let me know. See, what is my suggestion for you is, now whatever you have written,